How well does your real life match your dream life? You want to thrive and not just survive? Well, for centuries, there have been special people who were able to achieve this. What is their secret? Well, a new book called The Secret has the answers. And joining us is one of the contributors to that book, and Mike Dooley is here. Mike, it's great to have you here with us.
Great to be here, Spencer. Thank you.
Why don't you just explain briefly what The Secret is? It's a compilation of things from several contributors.
Yeah, The Secret was the brainchild of Rhonda Byrne out of Australia. And she had gone through, and she explains this in the beginning of the DVD, a difficult time in her life about just not that long ago, 2 years ago, from which her daughter suggested she read a book that really opened her eyes to greater and deeper truths that affect all of our lives. That led to almost frenetic search for more answers. And so Rhonda went through the internet, she attended programs, and she just absorbed as much knowledge as she possibly could. And she decided, coming from the TV industry, that it was just a no-brainer for her to bring to TV what she had just discovered. She couldn't believe that the rest of the world had been ignorant to The Secret, which is the fact that our thoughts become the things and events of our lives.
Right. That's the central idea. And your contribution to The Secret, your part of it, is about visualization.
Visualization, feeling the emotion, seeing in your mind's eye your dreamed of life as if it already exists. Not how am I going to get there, or who am I going to meet, and where is the interview going to take place, but I'm there, I have arrived, and then working from that.
That seems kind of so far-reaching. Is that like, is it daydreaming or just?
Great question. To first make change in your life, I think the fundamental thing that must be done is to understand that there are principles at play in the universe that can be banked on like gravity. And one of those principles is thoughts becoming things. Thoughts become the things and events of our lives through the law of attraction. So what that means is it's not just our visualizations that create our reality, but also our daydreams. The key is understanding how powerful and responsible we are, and then setting some time aside every single day to perhaps think along the lines of our dreams. Think thoughts that serve us. Focus on a life that we'd like to have, rather than what's so often done is focusing on the things that we don't like, which only perpetuates it, because the thoughts will then become things.
Now, Mike, tell us how you've put this process to work in your life, and how you made it work.
Gosh, I was on a maddened search, just like Rhonda was a couple of years ago, but for me it was a couple of decades ago, looking at every possibility for truth and answers. And I would say by the time I was in college, I had all of my questions answered. And from that day forward, and for the last 25 years, and I think this is true for most who are aware of The Secret, the challenge becomes to live it. It's not enough to change your life just through being excited about The Secret. You've got to find The Secret and start embodying it in everything you think, say, and do. So for me, I've used it in the corporate world with Price Waterhouse for 6 years, traveling around the world. I've used it as an entrepreneur for the last 15 years, as a writer, as a speaker, and it's made all the difference.
Okay, so you're talking about visualizing, thinking something. So if I think I want to be healthier, because I don't eat very well, do I think apples and bananas and salads in my head, or?
Great question. You're almost bordering, though, on what I call the cursed hows. You're thinking, now, how am I going to get healthier? Oh, it's going to be a matter of this kind of food, or talking to those kind of people if it was a relationship you were after. No, you want to go straight to the end result or beyond. You are looking in the mirror and you're like, whoa, I've never felt so good. You're imagining the compliments from your friends. You kind of die to the illusions that are around you today, because these are the result of yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's journeys. So you've got to start a fresh foot by thinking thoughts that aren't mirrored around you yet. This is the challenge. But then you get the upward spiral and it becomes a lot easier.
So you want to see yourself already vibrant and fit
already
and,
there.
And cut. Now, okay, now you've got, let's see if we can take these principles and put them into practice. You've got some guidelines for getting us where we want to be, making us into what we visualize.
Right.
Number one is visualize no more than once a day.
One time a day in a dark and quiet room. This is where you get serious about it. You allocate that time at any point that's convenient for you. You make sure there's no other distractions, and you intensely feel the emotions. You intensely put yourself in that place that your dream has already come true. If you do it more than once a day, you're going to be living in the future, not appreciating who you already are and all you already have.
That's good. Your second guideline, Don't do it, though, no longer than 5 to 10 minutes.
Very important, because no matter who you are, if you try to visualize longer than 10 minutes a day, you're going to start daydreaming about sex.
How did you know?
Didn't take that long. Maybe actually, you're going to start daydreaming, and then you're going to say, "I can't do this. I can't hold the picture in my head. I must have adult ADD." And then what happens so often is people quit, and they let go of what is perhaps the most powerful tool at our disposal, just spending 5 minutes a day. So after the 5 or 10 minute mark, and I suggest using a kitchen egg timer. Set it at 10 minutes, let it count down to 0, and when the buzzer goes off, you're finished until tomorrow.
Wow.
Let it go.
I like where we're headed with this. Now, there are more guidelines Mike has for us for visualizing the changes we want to make in our lives. We're going to stop here and pick up with the other guidelines when we come back, so stay with us.